I'm Emma Ridgey, the director here at My Professional Net. Before I hand this over to James, I just want to cover a couple quick things. As you probably know, this webinar is approved for continuing education credits with the AIA. And so I can either, at the conclusion of the webinar, I can either report your credit directly to them, or I can provide you a certificate of completion. So you'll just need to either email me your AIA license number or just a request for the certificate. And I will put my contact information in the chat so that you all have it. And you can email me after the webinar has included or concluded. And this will be interactive, so I encourage you to follow James's lead. But if you have any specific questions throughout, place them in the chat, or you can even use the little raise hand emoticon at the top, and I will see that you are waiting for a question, and I'll do my best to call attention to it. And then there will be time at the end for a short Q&A as well. So with all that being said, it's my pleasure to introduce James Wisdom to present this webinar, Building an Effective Annual Plan. James has worked closely with us here at My Professional Net for over 5 years now, and he's currently on our team as one of our MPN experts. So he does offer all of his services to our subscribers. So please join me in giving James a very warm welcome.
Thank you, Emma. I really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody who is attending the call today. I realize that you could be spending your time in many different ways, but you chose to be here. So thank you. Now, for those of you that were really late to add, there's one thing I'm going to ask you to do right off the top, which is to write a one-sentence statement. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be 100% there, but just what do you want from your business, okay? Write that down while I'm talking, because we're going to come to it a little later, and it'll be an important part, an important starting point. That's your destination for your annual plan. Can't get there if you don't have a destination, right? So let's begin. Hi there, my name is James Wisdom. I'm a professional EOS implementer. I've helped leaders of dozens of growing companies get more of what they want from their business. That's what I do. Today, I'm going to help you create a very clear, very streamlined annual plan for your business, a clear, actionable plan that you can take back into your business and begin implementing next week, and things are going to get better. Now, it's a simple but ambitious goal to get done in the next hour, but we won't be successful without you partnering with me. I really need you to engage and actively participate in the work that we're going to do together. If you don't have an actionable annual plan right now for your business, the next hour could change and will change the destiny of your business and your life for the better, but only if you participate. Are you with me? Somebody. I need a nodding head. I need a yes.
We are with you.
Yes, thank you, Daniel. Rock and roll. Now, in the first part of this call, I'm going to establish context for the challenge that we're trying to solve. In the second part of this call, I'm going to show you the tools and help you create a simple, clear annual plan for your business. In the third part, I'm going to field any questions. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to throw them in the chat or raise your hand, and Emma will give me a heads up, time permitting. If I'm in the flow, I might push it till later. If it makes sense right then, I'll take it. Okay, we're just going to play that by ear and try to be a little dynamic. Now, a little bit of etiquette first off. Now, unless you're volunteering, and volunteers will be needed and appreciated, and frankly, you'll get more out of this, please keep yourself on mute unless you're speaking. I do want to hear what you have to say, but nobody wants to listen to your barking dog in the background on this call, no matter how adorable they are. Please keep yourself on mute when you're not speaking, okay? Is everybody ready? Somebody give me a nod. Emma, give me a nod. Tell me I should keep going. There you go. Thank you, Daniel.
Yes,
Daniel, you get a gold star for the day already, just for having your camera on. All right, so the challenge. I help a lot of entrepreneurial companies. I've noticed recently that most of the companies I'm talking to, clients, prospects, and friends are having trouble scaling and growing, and the leaders of those companies are frustrated. They're hitting the ceiling. They talk to me about how for the first couple of years, was almost too easy. Then all of a sudden they hit a ceiling, they get stuck, and they just can't figure out a way to break through the ceiling. That's normal. That's commonplace. I've personally been there with my own business. I've gone through this. Now, I believe that I can help with that frustration a little bit with this session. What we're going to do is we're going to be using the 8 questions from the EOS Vision Traction Organizer, which, by the way, you can download if you use the QR code on my screen right now. Just go ahead and hit it with your phone, or it's actually, oh boy, I don't remember the URL, but it'll come up later. Don't worry. so that you can download it, and I'll email it later, so no worries on that. The Vision Traction Organizer to establish your annual plan. Now, truth be told, we only have an hour. So I'm going to cover the essentials with you today, help you get moving in the right direction. And I offer myself up for questions after the session. If you want to talk to me, hey, I didn't get this, or how does this sound? I'm happy to do one-on-one time with anybody that's on this call. So our purpose today, our mission, is to help you define your annual plan so you can get everyone in your organization 100% on the same page with where you're going and how you plan to get there. Even if you're a solopreneur, getting yourself on the same page, getting yourself directed on where you're going and how you're going to get there. I hope that sounds good. Now, again, this last time I'm going to mention it till later. Anyone who joined the last few minutes, please answer the question. What do you want from your business? Write it down on a notepad next to you or post it in the chat if you're feeling bold. Keep it brief, no more than 7 words. 1 sentence is best. Now, for a little context, a little about EOS and a little bit about me, so you know I'm not just here practicing on you and making this up. Now, as an EOS implementer, I help people get what they want from their businesses by providing a complete system of simple, proven tools to help them do 3 things that we call vision, traction, and healthy. Now, vision just means getting everyone in your organization 100% on the same page with where you're going and how you plan to get there. Traction means instilling discipline and accountability throughout your organization so that no matter where you go, you see people executing on that vision day in and day out. And healthy means helping you become more healthy, functional, cohesive, open and honest, fun-loving team, because sometimes you're not. From there, we find as goes the leadership team, so goes the rest of the organization. And ultimately, you get to a point where everybody in the organization is 100% on the same page with your vision, executing on that vision with discipline and real accountability, and working together as a healthy, cohesive bunch of people who actually enjoy spending time together. I love seeing that with the businesses that I work with. And I wish it for you too. Okay. Everything I'm going to share with you today was created by a lifelong entrepreneur by the name of Gino Wickman. This is not something I invented out of thin air. EOS, or the Entrepreneurial Operating System, isn't software. It's a management operating system that maximizes human energy, delivering better results for businesses and more fulfilling lives for the people who run them. There's over 200,000 companies globally running on EOS, just a simple set of practical, real-world tools, timeless concepts that have been around for 100 years and going to be around for 1,000 more. Last year, companies running on EOS grew at an average rate of 34.4%. Not too shabby. Now, you're not going to find any pixie dust, any magic pills, or silver bullets in EOS. This is just applied solutions. The kinds of organizations that I work with and that EOS works great for are between 5 to 500 employees. Their owners and leaders are growth-oriented and open-minded. They're willing to be open and honest and vulnerable with themselves and the people around them. And they're more afraid of the status quo than they are of change. So that's a little about EOS. Now let me share with you a little bit about me, my story. I grew up in an entrepreneurial household, watching my mom grow a thriving financial business off thousands of cold calls from our plaid living room couch. I went on and I led marketing teams at big global organizations like QVC, Accenture, Aflac, and Randstad. I loved making great marketing and unlocking the potential of my teams to make that great marketing, but I hated the big bureaucratic problems I ran into along the way with these types of companies. So I decided, hey, I'm going to be a smart guy and I'm going to open my own marketing firm. I'm going to work with smaller, more entrepreneurial organizations that won't have those kinds of problems. Well, surprise, surprise, my clients had exactly the same problems. And what was really the surprise was that about a year and a half, 2 years in, I was successful, but I started having the same problems in my own firm. So I went into my network and I asked around, and people said, check out EOS, check out EOS. So I checked out EOS. I put it in place in my own firm, and I tripled my revenues over the next 3 years. Not so bad, but more importantly, I got my life back on track. I got to spend more time with my kids, more time with my wife, more time with my family, more time doing the things that I truly love. And that's what was really important. And during that time, I had a midlife epiphany, not a crisis because there was no sports car involved, a midlife epiphany that I realized that I was really about unlocking people's potential. When I look back on my career, that's what I really loved, helping people be better, be the best they could really be, really realizing their full potential. So I decided I was going to become a full-time EOS implementer, and that's how you find me here with you today. I am thrilled to be working with businesses and helping them grow and thrive. And I'm thrilled to share some of this with you today. Now, I'm going to show you a model that when I work with businesses in different contexts, this model has you at the center. Now, go ahead. I'm sharing my screen here. And what I want to do is I want to show you this model. It has your business at the center of it. So try to visualize this with your business at the center. And it stems from a discovery that all entrepreneurs, all entrepreneurial leaders tend to wrestle with about 136 issues simultaneously. And that discovery tells us that to the extent that you can strengthen the 6 key components of your business, those issues just tend to fall into place because they're really just symptoms of the true root causes. And so when I'm talking about the journey, it's a journey to strengthen the 6 key components of your business. I'm going to share with those very quickly. Here we go, buckle up. Now, the first key component of your business, of any business, is the vision component. The vision component is getting everyone in your organization 100% on the same page with where you're going and how you plan to get there. We're going to be focusing on the vision component today for your annual plan. I'm going to be helping you answer 8 questions to get your vision and plan on the right track. Now, each of the 6 key components has 2 tools or disciplines that help you understand how we strengthen the vision component and all 6 of these components, but we're going to save that deep dive for another time. Today, it's annual planning. The second key component is the people component. Very simply, and everybody understands this at core, you can't achieve a great vision without great people. And truth is, every organization defines great people differently. Now, when we spend a little more time on the tools and disciplines, we are really going to get to the heart of what makes for great people in your organization. The third key component is the data component. This is running your business on facts, figures, and objective information rather than feelings, egos, gut, and subjective emotions that often drive decision making in an entrepreneurial company. And what happens when you strengthen the vision, people, and data components in your organization, everything becomes transparent and crystal clear. All the impurities, imperfections, problems, challenges, and obstacles just jump right out, but also opportunities that you're going to want to take advantage of. And that leads us up to the fourth key component. We call those issues. Strengthening the issues component is just getting really good at solving your problems as they arise, because you can't achieve success if you're not great at setting your problems up as they arise and knocking them down and making them go away forever. The fifth key component is the process component. Strengthening the process component is just getting all the most important stuff in your business done. Just the important stuff, the right and best way every time. Creates consistency and scalability in your business, makes it easier to manage, more profitable, and more fun. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think process is sexy. The sixth key component is traction. Traction is about bringing your vision down to the ground and executing on that vision day in and day out. Now, there's no coincidence that vision's at the top of the model and traction's at the bottom. If you can't bring your vision down to the ground and execute on it well, vision without traction is hallucination. Now, in the future, we can talk about the 2 tools and disciplines we use to strengthen the traction component and help you get what you want from your business. Those are the 6 key components. The 6 key components make up the EOS model, and EOS stands for the Entrepreneurial Operating System. Again, EOS is a way of harmonizing and orchestrating all the moving parts of your business to help you run a better business and live a better life. Now, the tool we're going to be using today is the Vision Traction Organizer, or VTO. It's based on 8 questions, as I've got circled on your screen right now. The VTO is a simple, powerful tool that anybody can use. Please use this tool. If you hit that QR code or hit that URL, you can download the form. You don't have to fill out a form. It's literally, it just takes you straight to the download. Please use this tool. It'll help you crystallize the vision for your company. And this is what we're going to be working through today. If you would just follow along with me. This is the VTO, and each of the 8 questions are indicated there in the orange areas. I'm going to go through them one by one, And we're going to build these into an annual plan for you. Okay, are you ready? Somebody say yes or nod your head. Okay, I'm seeing two nodding heads. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, so core values. Let's start with core values. Core values are just an essential set of guiding characteristics that define who you are at the core and what you want from the culture of your organization. Now, when we work together, I take you through a discovery exercise to help you discover the true core values of your unique organization. Then later in the people component, I explain exactly how we use your core values to attract great people to your organization, people that fit your culture, the kind of people you want to be surrounded with, that you want to work with, and repel the people who aren't a great fit for your culture. That's core values. Now, after our session today, take some time to define the core values for your organization. It's who you are. It's worth it. We don't have time to go through the core values exercise today, maybe in a future session. But remember, core values define who you are at the core and what you want from the culture of your organization. It helps you find the right people, people you want to surround yourself with, and repel people that you don't. All right. Now, next up, we're going to go into core focus. Okay. What's your core focus? Right? The core focus is the sweet spot of your organization. It's been called a million different things in the history of business, right? Some people call it vision statement. Some people call it mission statement. Stephen Covey calls it voice. Jim Collins calls it hedgehog concept. We call it core focus because it comes from your core. Now, once it's clearly defined and articulated, the trick is to stay laser focused within that core focus so you're always working within your sweet spot. Again, take the time after our session to define your core focus. Why do you do what you do? That's your purpose, cause, or passion. And what are you best at? That's your niche. It's what you are. Now, here's the challenge. Keep each one of those statements to no more than 7 words, one sentence. Now, remember, purpose, cause, and passion are the why you do what you do, and the niche is what you do. Now this is the next. Now we're gonna get into the fun stuff. Here we go. The third question is, what is your 10-year target? This is where I was asking you to write down what's your big goal for your business. What do you want from your business? This is just a long range big goal for your business. The time frame is flexible. It can be anything from 5 to 30 years out. And this is where we're really going to dig in and start digging in on your annual plan. The 10-year target is a clearly articulated, simple, number one business goal for your organization. It gets you all on the same page with where you're going long term. 10-year target is a discipline around goal setting. You choose the time frame, you choose the goal, but choose the goal wisely because you'll probably get it. The important thing here is to know your end game, because if you don't know your end game, how are you going to reach it? Each of you needs to commit to something, put it out there, start writing. If you don't have this written down, you should be writing right now. What is my 10-year target? What's the one sentence? I'm going to give you some ideas. I'm going to keep talking while you write. Now, earlier, I asked you what you wanted from your business. I asked it at the beginning of the call, and it seemed like 15 times, but I think it was 3. Take whatever you wrote and look at it. Is that my 10-year target? If not, tweak it a little bit. That's okay. Rewrite it. If you haven't written anything down yet, start writing. Put something down. I'm going to give you some more prompts. So keep writing, keep tweaking. I want to hear pencil scratching on paper through the Zoom. I don't think that's possible, but I'd still like to hear it. Imagine you're a crew cutting a road through a dense forest, doing all that hard work, and you know you're going somewhere, but if you don't know where, you're going to be weaving around and going in circles. Your 10-year target is the destination for that road. And this planning process is the map and the survey to get you there in the straightest line possible. Does that make sense? Is your 10-year target becoming clear yet? I'm going to keep talking. Don't worry, I've got some ideas for you. So think about this to yourself. What big goal would be motivating for you and your organization? What is it that you want to be able to say about your company? What would make you really proud if you could accomplish it or become it? What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be able to say you built or helped to build? The 10-year target creates something for everyone in your organization to be part of. Now, we might get off the bus before the destination, but we need to set a destination so we're at least heading in the right direction. What is it that we're trying to achieve that will make us proud? feel like we're successful. Once your 10-year target is clear, you almost magnetize yourself to that goal, and solutions, answers for reaching that goal will emerge, but only if you put it out there. A clearly articulated, simple #1 business goal for your organization. I'm going to give you a moment to put the finishing touches on before I ask for volunteers. Okay. So I'm going to pick up my phone. I'm going to set a timer for, let's just say 45 seconds. Let you guys put the touches on there, and then I look forward to hearing from you. Emma, if you'd like to hum something or sing a song at this point, you're welcome to. I'm not a very good hummer.
I was actually just going to say, I'm going to put, I said at the beginning, but if you missed it, I'm going to put right now my contact information in the chat so that at the conclusion, you can email me for requests for CE credit. So I'll do that while James's timer is.
Thank you. We're down to 15 seconds. Your big #1 goal for your business, one sentence. All right, time's up. Now I'd like to take a volunteer. What is your 10-year target for your business, please? You can either raise your hand or you can take yourself off mute and just start talking.
We do also have one, it
Volunteer.
looks like one in the chat as well, James.
Oh, okay. Would you read that out to me, Emma?
Yes. The sentence is attracting more clients to work with our company.
Okay, awesome. That is a great start. Who did that so I can address them?
Daniel.
Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. Now think about that's a good start for the 10-year target. Now we want to make sure that it has a little bit of legs so you'll know you've gotten there, right? So how many new clients? Think about what type of new clients. Think about, is it going to take multiple locations to support whatever that goal is, right? So give it a little more meat. I like to have a couple of it's okay to have a couple of commas on there. Let me read an example that I have here from one of my clients. $10 million in annual revenue, 3 weeks of vacation for him, for the CEO of the company, 10% to philanthropy, 3 nationally recognized design awards. That's his 10-year target, right? So guys, think about these types of examples. Like what big picture, where do you want to be in 10 years? What's that goal that you're trying to hit? Any other examples, guys? You can take yourself off mute and just chime in. Are there any more in the chat, Emma, right now?
Not in the chat, but if anyone would like to place any in the chat, I can read them aloud for you if you don't want to unmute yourself also.
And didn't we, Emma, didn't we get one supported or submitted earlier too?
Yes, it looks like someone is typing as well. So I'm going to give that 1 second and then let me. Okay, so we have one from Derek that says, double the size, double the revenue, and pursue design awards.
Nice. Awesome. I love it, Daniel. Or excuse me, is it Daniel or Dieter?
Derek put that one in the chat.
I knew it was a D. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Derek. My fault. I love that. I would be thinking about, hey, let's put down what design awards you're talking about, right? Give yourself a goal for if there's a specific award, or maybe there's 3 different awards and you just want to say I will have won at least one of them by the time I hit my 10-year target, then set a specific goal. The chances that you're going to achieve it are much higher that way. Okay, awesome.
We have another one as well.
Oh, okay, good.
This one, it just looks like the first initial with the last name, so I don't have a name, but the sentence is 10 million revenue, staff of 50, prime contracts with New York State.
Oh, excellent. Okay, perfect. That's a great one. Yeah, because you've got the employee count. And I actually mentioned that a little bit later in our next portion of the planning, but awesome to have your employee count in there. I do see that a lot with my clients too. So good. Excellent examples, guys. Thank you so much. Let's move on. I want to make sure we have enough time to cover all the bases. Now, once your 10-year target is crystal clear, we then move on to question number 4, marketing strategy. Now, your marketing strategy is simply designed to get you and your whole team all on the same page with who you talk to and what you should say to get the biggest return on your investment in precious sales and marketing resources. Now, there are 4 parts to the marketing strategy: target market, 3 uniques, proven process, and your guarantee. Now, the target market is getting you all to agree on your ideal prospect, the demographic, geographic, and psychographic profile of the kinds of people or companies that you should be laser focused on proactively marketing and selling to. Now, a little bit more detail on each just to help you guys, because we're not going to do this module today, but I'm going to give you enough information, hopefully, for you to do it on your own. First, geographic. Now, while we would all love to take over the entire planet, we have to recognize we only have the capacity to serve a small part. So what part do you want to serve? Are you willing to travel 3 hours away, within 50 miles, or could you serve the entire US, a state, a region? Decide what you want to serve, what your geographic boundaries are. Now, demographic, which customers will appreciate you the most? Who has the need and money that they can spend on your services? Families, empty nesters, there's certain types of neighborhoods. If you're B2B, which types of companies do you want to serve? Does industry segment matter? Right? That's demographic. Now, psychographic, you want customers that work well with you. What is your ideal customer value from their provider? Is it quality, craftsmanship, stewardship, price, or something else? How do they think? What do they value? Right now, that's who you want to talk to. And once that's clear, the rest of the marketing strategy is simply your message to those ideal prospects. The 3 uniques are 3 differentiating characteristics, the 3 things about your organization that make you different and better than the competition. It sets you apart. The proven process is a 1-page visual illustration of the way you take care of your customers. From the minute they start thinking about doing business with you to the time they're long time satisfied business partners of yours, big advocates for you. Guarantee is just a pledge or promise that reduces the fear of adoption and eliminates objections that you might face in the sales and marketing process. Now, after our session today, your to-do is to get with your team and get 100% on the same page with your marketing strategy. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help. I love helping people succeed. My favorite thing. Now, remember, the marketing strategy is just who you should talk to and what you should say to get the biggest return on your investment in precious sales and marketing resources. Now, once you're all 100% on the same page with your core values, your core focus, your 10-year target, and your marketing strategy, you'll know who you are at the core. You'll know what you love to do and do best with your core focus. You'll know where you're going long term, and you'll know how you're going to get there with your marketing strategy. We then crystallize the vision for the organization, bring it down to the ground, and start making it real with your 3-year picture. This is my favorite part, but I'm probably a little biased. This is not a detailed 3 to 5 year strategic planning process we're about to go through. But wherever you're taking notes, write down the date, March 5th, 2027. Write that down on a piece of paper. All we're trying to do is get every member of your team to crystallize and visualize exactly what this company needs to look like 3 short years from now. If you can all see the same thing in your mind's eye, the chance you're going to achieve that vision becomes significantly higher. We start by quickly defining your revenue, profits, and measurables for 3 years out. What does your company need to achieve 3 years from now to lay the foundation for your 10-year target? Each of you, write down a revenue and profit goal to be on the right track for your 10-year target. No ranges, just one number. For the measurable, pick the one thing that if you were to communicate it to your people, it would show the scope and size of your organization. And they'd say, holy cow, we're going to have that many of those? Maybe the number of clients, the number of completed projects. Go ahead and write that down now. Then below that, you see 5 to 15 bullet points underneath the question, what does it look like? This is where we want to paint a vivid picture of what your organization needs to look like 3 short years from now on the way to achieving your vision. That vision's probably in your head. The 3-year picture forces you to get it out of your brain and put it on paper. Start writing now. I'll give you some prompts, but just think about it. You want to have an inspiring picture to move towards, but your hand should be writing. I want to hear pencil and paper through the Zoom, okay? Or pens are okay. Even magic markers, like it's chalk, whatever. I'm getting distracted now. So think about what would be motivating for the whole organization to have accomplished 3 short years from now. What is it you want to be able to say about the company? What would make you really proud if you could accomplish it or become it in the next 3 years? What do you want to be able to say you built or helped build in the next 3 years? Describe your role in the organization 3 years from now. Think about that. What will you actually be doing? Will be different than what you're doing today? Probably. How will you be spending your time? How about your teammates? How are they going to be spending their time? What kind of marketing and sales efforts will probably in play? This doesn't have to be exact. We're just painting a picture. You're going to have new locations, new products, new services. Jot them down if they're on the plan. New clients, customers, partner, just a clear picture that you can see in your mind's eye. Come up with 3 to 5 bullets today while we're on the call. Now, one of them I'd like to actually request that each of you add. And this is what I'm asking you to do is answer this question as best you can. How many people will you have on your team in 3 years? Write that number down and then put right people, right seats, or RPRS next to it. How many people will you have? How many people, right seats, will you have in your company 3 short years from now? If it's 25, just put 25 RPS. If it's 100 RPRS. Okay, I'm going to have 100 people in my organization 3 short years from now. And then write down what your 3-year picture looks like, locations, items sold, new products or services, description of your role, what your team looks like, new geographies maybe you're working in. I just need 3 to 5 today. And how many employees in your team? Right people, right seats. Again, I'm going to give you 45 seconds or so to wrap this up. All right. Now let's hear some examples. Who would like to volunteer with their 3-year picture? You can raise your hand in the Teams, or you can just take yourself off mute and start talking. Be bold. Let's hear what your 3-year picture is. Is there any in the chat, Emma?
It looks like Daniel said 10. So I think that is probably, and that might be the number of employees.
The number?
Maybe? Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't there a couple that were submitted separately beforehand?
Sure. Let me look back at my email. So 3-year picture. We have a new marketing hire that goes along with lead generation, full-time sales reps, new hires that are going to be designers. And then in addition to that, we have an annual employee retreat with fun stuff like go-karts and expansion location planned.
Okay, that's a good 3-year picture, right? That's something that I can get in my mind in terms of how the team is composed, the team is sized, and it sounds like they're going to have some fun, which I love. Anybody else would like to share your 3-year picture with us today? I'm happy to give immediate feedback and give you suggestions on how to enhance it. I'm here for you. All right, we're going to move on then. All right. So next thing we do is we turn the page on the VTO, and we really bring the vision down to the ground and prioritize and plan. This is where the 1-year plan really comes into play. You can't have the 1-year plan without the longer term stuff first, right? Now write down the date on your piece of paper. 3/5/2025, March 5th, 2025. That's a year from today. Now you'll notice we use the same predictions here: revenue, profit, and measurable. So go ahead and, using your 3-year picture numbers, set your revenue, profit, and measurables for your 1-year plan. Now ask yourself, what are we going to achieve this year or next year to lay the foundation for achieving your vision? Okay. Go ahead. I'm going to give you a couple seconds here. You need to create 3 to 7 priorities. We call them goals for the year. Now we focus on 3 to 7 goals, not 37, because when everything's important, nothing's important. One of the phrases we use a lot when we're implementing EOS is less is more. 3 is utopia. 3 is what we want. The idea is to decide what are the 3 to 7 most important things we must get done in the next year in order to achieve our 3-year picture, in order to achieve our 10-year target. Remember the 3 to 7 most important things to get done in the next year. Now, hopefully closer to 3. And so I want you to do is to start writing those, but I'm going to get your gears turning as you're writing again. I just want you to come up with 3 for today. Now, remember, they should be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, or SMART. So a month from now in April and in July and in November, you'll be able to read that goal and everyone will know exactly what it means with no discussion. And your team will be able to say with absolute certainty 1 year from now, whether you got it done or you didn't get it done. So just to restate it, in order to accomplish a 3-year picture you just painted, what are the 3 to 7 most important things your company must get done to make that 3-year picture a reality? Okay, 3 to 5 goals for the year. I'm going to give you another 45 seconds or so to write those down. And if anybody has any questions, by all means, throw your hand up. I can entertain any questions on this, but these are your 3 to 7, ideally 3 priorities for the next year. Okay. Okay, good. Now, who would like to either enter their 1-year plan or and just the you don't have to give the numbers, just the items, just the list of the 3 to 5 goals that you have for the year. Either enter it in the chat or raise your hand or just take your phone off mute, your phone or your computer off mute and start talking.
Okay, we have one in the chat from Bob.
Awesome.
Okay, so we have 1.2 million plus or add 2 employees, so 5, making that 5 total at the firm, less work hours, efficient delegation, and efficient billing.
Awesome. Now, Bob, what I'd suggest to you is for that to be a goal, again, you have to know when you're done. So when you say efficient, just make sure you can use efficient as far as I'm concerned, as long as it's clear what is efficient and what isn't efficient. So you'll know when you cross that line and, like when the marathon runner goes through the tape, they're like, I made it. If it's not clear where that tape is, you don't get to have that moment where you say, yes, I made it, or no, I didn't make it. And I don't want to take that away from you, Bob. So make sure that all those goals have a clear ending point where you say, this is how I will know I have achieved my goal. That's my suggestion to you. Any others, Emma?
Not in the chat, but I have another from our emails prior.
Oh,
so
okay.
we have everyone on the team working well together. Appear at 4 target market conferences, which would be double the previous year. Close 5 more big deals. Establish 3 more key partners, and finish the website for the business.
Okay. Those are great. That sounds, I've seen a lot very similar to that. So what I would recommend, if the person who submitted those is on the call right now, but a little bashful, I understand. I used to be like that myself. What I just suggest is, what is everyone on the team working well together? Will you know when that's happened? I think you probably will. Actually, it's probably measurable. Appear at 4 target market conferences, double of last year. Yeah, that's measurable. I think that these are all. I think these are all measurable as SMART goals. More big deals. I'm going to just make an assumption that this individual has defined what a big deal is versus a small deal. A lot of businesses say, okay, well, if it's over $1 million or over $5 million, we're going to call that a big deal. But the bread and butter maybe is in those $100,000 deals. As long as that's clear and that's defined and you've got something clear that you're working toward, the chances that you'll achieve it are much, much, much higher. Awesome, awesome, awesome participation. Thank you, everybody, for contributing. I appreciate it. Let's keep moving on. Now we're going to go from our 1-year plan to our rocks. Now we've crystallized and we've made prediction for profit, revenue, and measurables for the next year. We've set 3 to 7 clear aligned goals now. Now we move on to the next section of the VTO called rocks. Now write one of 2 things in your notes. Either 6/5/2024, which is 3 months from today, or pick the end of the next calendar quarter if you want to sync up to the calendar quarter, June 28th, if you want to sync up with your calendar quarters. It's really up to you. Now, rocks are just 90-day business priorities. And this, again, gets everybody 100% on the same page with what's most important over the next 90 days, creating a 90-day world for your organization. Now, just like with the 3-year picture and the 1-year plan, we start by predicting revenue, profit, and measurables. Now take a moment, divide your annual numbers by 3 as a starting point, and figure out your revenue, profit, and measurables for your rocks. Then identify 3 to 7 priorities for the company over the next 90 days. The 3 to 7 most important things you must get done in your organization over the next 90 days. Think of it this way. What do you need to get done in the next 90 days in order to be on track for your 1-year goal, for your 1-year plan, your 3-year picture, and your 10-year target? What are those 3 to 7 most important things? Write them down. Start writing now. I want to hear people writing. Now, as you're doing this, write down the initials of the person who's responsible for each rock in your company. Next to it, you see that column that says who. You want to have the name of the rock, and you want to have somebody's initials next to it. One person's initials. Can't have 3 persons' initials. You can't have 3 people responsible for the same thing, because then nobody's responsible. You get the 2 arrows pointing the other way. Now, the person that's responsible doesn't need to do 100% of the work. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that person's the quarterback, and he's working with your team, or she is working with your team. Right, they're responsible for making sure the rock gets done, setting meetings, kicking tail, taking names, but there's one person who takes ownership for making sure that rock gets done. Remember, 3 to 7 priorities for the next 90 days. The most important things you must get done to be on track for your 1-year plan. Make sure that, again, that they're smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and they're time bound, because we already set a date. And assign an owner who's making sure that this rock gets done by the date. Now, special note here. Maybe you have a rock that's bigger than what you can get done by the deadline. That's okay. Carve off a piece that you can get done by the deadline, and that's your priority. It's fine to set what we call a milestone rock. Just remember that when you sit and review your rocks at the end of this quarter, whichever one of those 2 dates, because you need to sit and review them, that you take the next piece in the next quarter if it still makes sense. So let's say we're going to build a big application. Okay, well, what can you get done between now and your date? You're going to call that application phase 1, define what's inside that. And then when you get to the end of the quarter, is what was inside it done? Yes, great. I applaud you. And then maybe you move on to application phase 2. You define what's inside that for the next 90 days. Application phase 3. Hopefully you're not doing this up to application phase 28, but maybe if you worked at Google, you would be. That's okay. Again, I'm going to give about 45 seconds of quiet time for folks to finish putting together their rocks. If you have a question, if you're confused, by all means, pipe up or raise your hand while we're waiting for everybody to finish their rocks. All right. So that should be enough for everybody to put down 3 to 7 big goals for the next 90 days. The stuff that's probably keeping you up at night. Can I get some volunteers to throw theirs in the chat or raise their hand and speak? I promise I don't bite anything other than pizza. I do love pizza, and I will bite pizza if it's nearby, but I will not bite anybody that's on this call. Can I get some volunteers to share your rocks?
I have one again from a prior email. So we've got deal with my 2 people problems, create the sales process in Pipedrive, identify and plan out conferences, design and complete the website sitemap, and then set up and start Instagram.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, those are very clear. Let me look through these. Deal with my 2 people problems. Yes, people problems happen a lot. Yeah, you'll know if those are done. Create the sales process in Pipedrive. Yeah, that's pretty clear, I think. Identify and plan out conferences. Yeah. Design and complete website sitemap and set up and start Instagram. Yeah, those are very clear, achievable, I believe. I think that those could be qualified as SMART goals and SMART rocks for the next 90 days. Anybody else have their rocks that they'd like to share? As I said, throw them in the chat or feel free to just raise your hand or take yourself off mute and start talking. I'm okay with that too. All right. Okay, I'm not hearing people clamoring. That's okay. So let's keep going. After rocks, we do your issues list. This is the last question on the VTO, your issues list. Now, while we've been working on the VTO, if you've been a good student and you've been actually making notes, you've been working on this with me, you've probably been thinking about a million other things, maybe making notes on things that need to get done tomorrow, next week, but also someday, but maybe not in the next quarter or year. Now is the opportunity to get the issues out of your head and onto your issues list so they're not camping out in your brain and taking your attention away from your rocks. These are the things that we've made a decision on when we set your quarterly rocks. That's what you're going to be focused on this quarter. These are the things that you're choosing not to focus on this quarter, but you also don't want to just throw them away. You say, yeah, well, maybe the next quarter, maybe the quarter after that, maybe next year. That's fine. You just want to capture them somewhere so they're no longer in your brain. And you know, I'm going to keep revisiting these every quarter until the time is right. Right. Sometimes a company sale, sometimes a merger, sometimes so these big strategic moves, you put them on your issues list. You think, okay, yeah, maybe we'll come to that, but we're not going to come to it today. So think about, what are your biggest opportunities? And by the way, I'm not going to ask for anybody to share these. I'm going to give you some guidance so that you have a chance to write them down, and then we're going to move on. So you don't have to worry about sharing these. What are your biggest issues, your biggest concerns? What are the biggest ideas that you think you can capitalize? Write them down. Now, remember, your issues are where you store things that you might want to address, but not now. They're for the future. And if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have any issues, that's an issue. Now, once that's done, you've answered your 8 questions. This is a strategic approach to, a simplified approach to strategic planning. Those are the 8 questions. That's your VTO and your annual plan. So as we wrap up this tool, I urge you to take whatever you've written down, take the time to refine and finesse it. Give it a good polish, but don't take too long. Because next week, I want you to get together with your team and start getting all on the same page and agree on the answers to all of your 8 questions. Now, don't dictate this to them. Have a conversation. Make it interactive. Be open-minded. Be honest with one another. Get them all in a room together and don't leave that room till you're 100% in agreement. Discuss, debate. Be open and honest with one another, but you must agree. And if there's someone that just who won't participate, won't contribute, or won't debate, they might not belong on your team. They might be holding you back. But whatever happens, this plan won't work unless there's 100% agreement on your team with the answers to these questions. Okay, that's it for the VTO and your annual plan. I know it went fast. Your head is probably swimming. We're coming up to time. That's normal, and that's good. It means that you're actually trying. Okay. Now I've got a couple of minutes. You probably got about no more than 5 minutes for questions. What questions can I answer with 2 or 3 minutes? We're going to just do a quick round. Who's got questions for me? Any hands going up? Again, feel free to take yourself off mute and just start talking. You can use the raise hand feature. I'm going to put it down here so it's more visible, or you can put it in the chat. Okay, no questions? Did I do such a great job that nobody has any questions today? That's fantastic. All right, so I'm going to ask something of you now. I love working with companies and working with motivated people who are ready to commit to grow their business and break through the ceiling. I like helping. I would appreciate it if you would look out for friends, family, fellow business owners, peer group members that need help and could benefit by some of these tools and benefit by my guidance, and introduce them to me. Give them the gift of James' wisdom and EOS. If you can't tell, I'm not particularly pushy. I'm pretty easy, and I don't. I help first, right? I always help first. And I'd also like feedback on this session, how it can be better. So if you have comments, please feel free to email them to me. You've got some of my contact information there, but I'll send a follow-up email with this recording so you can reference it later, as well as the VTO template. And my contact information will be there too. I want to hear from you about how I can make this session more beneficial and more useful to you. And I may reach out to some of you and say, hey, would you be willing to jump on a quick 10-minute call with me to give me your feedback? Because I sincerely want to make this session better next time I do it. And I want to be better every time I do something. Okay. If there's no questions, Emma, I'm going to leave it to you as to do the final wrap up here.
Sure. All right. Thank you so much, James. Just a couple reiterations. Again, if you need CE credit and you would like a certificate of completion or for me to report, just email me. It's already in the chat, but I'm going to send another message with my email. Just send me the request and I will get that done either by the end of the day today or tomorrow. And then also, as James mentioned, there will be a recording of this session in case you want to go back or in case, somebody missed it. And it will be available on our website. So I will send everyone a follow-up email when that is available as well. So thank you again to James and to everyone today for coming and participating. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Have a great day, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.